now, Kieran Mayo, Kevin Madden, Simone Sanders, and David Gergen. David, this one is for you. When Oprah Winfrey asked the First Lady if she would ever run, she said no, but then she went on to say something that really stood out to me. Listen to this.
People don't really understand how hard this is. And it's not something that you cavalierly just sort of ask a family to do again. Maybe because we got it wrong or we think we got it wrong. So it's like, well, now you do it. You just go back in there and do it. You're the closest thing to that, so you do it. But let me just tell America, this is hard. It's a hard job. I said it on the campaign trail. It requires a lot of sacrifice. It is a weighty thing. And it's not something that you even look to one family to take on at that level, you know, for that long of a period of time.
8 years is enough.
And 16 years would be, right? Let's just, you know, 16 years. I wouldn't do that to my kids.
Yeah.
Because what people don't understand is that you run, their lives stop at any age. I mean, the next family that comes in here, every person in that family, every child, every grandchild, their lives will be turned upside down in a way that no American really understands.
Sobering words, David Gergen.
Very sobering, very interesting. I do think, as I said earlier, she has been on an emotional roller coaster. This has not been easy for her. There were times, Don, and when they were about 3 years in, that some friends of the Obamas wondered whether she, at the end of the first term, might want to go home. And I think she persevered, and she has emerged, I think, as a much stronger player, but it was not easy for her. It's not easy for family life. You look at the family that served the longest there, the Franklin Roosevelt family. He was elected to 4 terms. He died very early in his 4th term. But that was very hard on their family life, very hard on their marriage. I do think, Don, at the same time, at the end of the day, and I think she'll say this before she leaves, people who've gone through what she's gone through, as tough as it's been, are enormously grateful for the opportunity to serve the country. Because this is an incredibly important job. You're entrusted with the hopes and dreams of so many people. And I think at the end of the day, she'll say, look, it was very tough, but I'm glad we did it. And I think my husband accomplished a great deal for the United States.
I'm sure she is glad she did it, but I think she was speaking in the context of people asking them to do it again or her to run again, and she's like, you know, that stuff.
Yep.
Do you think that there was a message there, Simone, for the president-elect?
I think there were lots of messages for the president-elect throughout this interview, and one of those is to take this seriously. The second message is that this isn't just about you. This is as much about you as it is about the people around you and the folks close to you, and I think she got that across well. And the last thing I want to note is Michelle Obama does not want to be a political figure, if you will. She has taken very good care to cultivate this every woman persona, and which is why her approval ratings are high across the board, and it actually reaches across party lines. And so to ask if she's going to run for office, anyone that has ever been around, you know, I'm not going to purport to know the First Lady well, but I have had the opportunity to meet her multiple times, and I've been around when someone's asked her the question, and it's kind of like, no, I don't, because Michelle Obama's not political. She doesn't even watch the political shows, if you will. She is really just about the work and about the people, and I really think that's why she appeals to so many people in America.
Here she is discussing her greatest impact.
Where do you think your greatest impact as First Lady has been?
Greatest impact? That's hard to say. That's one of those sort of, I'm really good, and let me tell you how. You know, probably the greatest is just one of the greatest things when I see young women, particularly African-American women, but young women generally, seeing somebody educated, strong, outspoken, just seeing that on a regular basis.
When you see young women, and not only her, but also her daughters.
Her daughters, I mean, the optics were just fantastic. It sent Black Girl Magic kind of through the roof. You know, I mean, looking at them alone was revolutionary in a way. But, you know, Simone had mentioned her crafting this every woman thing. I actually think that she is a quintessential every woman. She's so salt of the earth. And that's what strikes me as one of the greatest kind of optic differences between her and her family and the family that's coming in. She talks about her girls, about having perspective and get it together because we had butlers, and these folks that are coming in here will have fewer butlers now than they had before. So her kind of salt of the earth thing, I think, is grounding. Her feminism, whether it's stated or not, is so lived. She just is empowering in her very nature. And, you know, I would say the one thing I regret about the need to defend yourself as a black woman against the angry black woman trope is that black women have every right to be angry whenever we see fit.
Well, whenever we have on, and you know, nothing against David and Kevin, but whenever we have a panel on that's like, you know, African Americans or all women, you always get the folks who say, you know, well, here's a panel of black people, here's a panel of all women, oh, CNN is, you know, black entertainment news or whatever. You don't have to defend that. Like, you can have a perspective as an African American. We're having this conversation right now. There has never been an African American first lady. Right. That meant a lot to a whole lot of people, especially African Americans, but especially to this country. So Michelle Obama is an icon in just that way and is deserving of this conversation that we'll have continue on the other side of this break.
Yeah.